and welcome to yet another weird thing, because you know what, who's even shocked by that at this point? So, we're doing Sots of the Pit today. Not doing this particular save file, but this is just the one that I wanted to have running in the background to make sure that everything was properly running, and also because the, pretty much the farther you go in this game, the better the music gets. But, anyway, let's just give it a sec to make sure that everything is running properly. Here's the general rundown of this game for anyone that hasn't played it. You've got 40 floors, you've got a character, you're supposed to get that character to the bottom of those 40 floors. There's options to skip every other floor, or to just make the floors generally shorter, if you want. It basically readjusts the game no matter what you're doing. Like, the guy that we're going to be doing everything with, we're going to try to do it in fast mode there, which is skipping every other floor. These essentially rebalance themselves in terms of, when doing fast mode, if the RNG hates you, you're dead. There's just no two ways about it. Basically, if you go for fast mode, you tend to have less items overall. If you go for the sort of faster mode, you tend to kind of find a nice little middle ground. If you go for the normal, it tends to take a very long time. Some characters end up benefiting a lot, like the Scion in particular is kind of built for the full version, so to speak. Just because they can infinitely regenerate food and things like that. So either way, being a weird space wizard's probably pretty good. So general idea, you get a crap load of skills, not as many stats, and you got to get your character down to that bottom. Like I said, you collect a bunch of crap along the way, sort of MacGyver stuff together. Now, this is just for the sake of context. This is a normal run all the way down to floor 28. They've got 12 floors to go. And, they're doing pretty alright. They've got a whole stockpile of different guns, and a lot of them are modified and all that kind of thing. They've got all these different materials to put stuff together. Got all kinds of different foods and whatever, so they're pretty well stocked. I mean, this particular character looks like she was about to kind of get wrecked if they went around a corner, because they already took some decent injuries. I would assume they probably went in there and got attacked by a bear or something. So now, first of all, prepare your friggin' ears, because, the main menu music is louder than everything else. Just fair warning. Alright, so, seriously, difficulty. What is the deal with that? Well, the game kind of has a crapload of different difficulty options. Seriously is the hardest one that you can actually still complete. It does go up to infinite, if you really feel like just having a game that literally doesn't even have an end state. You're just kind of going for points at that point, which is, pretty cool. Now, why the warrior hyper guy here? So, Mr. Rapari Bugman, as I like to call him, because I forget. I know his name's Rapari. I don't know if they give him an actual name, but I always call him Rapari Bugman. On paper, you'd think they'd be pretty awesome. It's this giant armored killing machine, but they are pretty much hands down the worst character in the game. As far as I'm aware, almost nobody's ever beaten this game on this difficulty with this guy. When I looked at my achievement for it, which, by the way, let me pull up the score for that one, just to show how friggin' ridiculous that was. So yeah, Mr. Dude Guy over here at level 103. This is when this was when I did the level 100 run a few years ago. Basically, there's a system in this game called the Blue Room, in which you can transfer items and experience over to a character and essentially just keep dumping them. However, they are permanently kind of sort of capped where they are. I'll explain more on this mechanic as we end up going on. But the general idea is, every time that you level up, you get options for your stats, you get options for your skills. If you use the Blue Room, you can get however many items you can get up to that floor. Like in that particular case, we were starting off on floor 5, because I knew, using the Lich, I could consistently get to floor 5 and just dump a bunch of nonsense into that particular box. So that's what I kept doing over and over, because with the Lich, since they basically can regenerate when attacking stuff, you don't have to worry about leveling them up, which means that he could dump a lot more experience. So this process still took about 6 months, but at any rate, they got all the way to 100. That was courtesy to a guy in the forums that ended up actually sharing the exact experience number that was needed for that. I was so friggin' worried when starting all of it over whether whether it would even be possible. And then sure enough, it was like, okay, fine. You get the thing. It turns out to be the exact correct one, so got lucky on that one. Was lucky that somebody was there to offer that information. But anyway, so yeah, you can basically level them up infinitely in theory. But here's the thing: even at 100, they still almost died several times. Because yes, your base stats end up going all the way up, but as far as your skills, well, they're still stuck as if you were at level 5, because that's the floor that you start on. Which basically means that yes, you can level up every single skill every time you level up. However, this will make more sense once we actually get started. But yeah, every time that you level up, you get basically a roll on a skill, which is a 1 to 3. Those skills can go up to 100. But it basically meant that this guy couldn't open any doors, couldn't really fix anything. They were literally just face-planting their way all the way through. And if it wasn't for the fact that at that ridiculous level, since the level, your dodge stat scales with your level, if it wasn't for the fact that he basically could avoid 90% of bullets, there was no way that would have worked. Funnily enough, this is actually the mechanic that causes a lot of the more like die-hard, roguelike community folks to look down on this game, which, honestly, like I said, the mechanic is not as broken as it looks like. I always get the same response every time I say that. I was like, oh, you just don't understand the mechanics, man. You can do it infinitely. Yeah, if you feel like it. I was doing that crap for 6 straight months, and yeah, no, the guy still almost died. And so, no, it's really not worth it. It's, you can use it to set up some really weird runs, which I personally love, but yeah, no, as far as completely breaking the game to, beat the game with anything, no, it's definitely not the most effective method at all. In fact, from what I've seen, there was, I think it was Lucky Luke, that's the main runner of this one. I think he was the one that that got pretty close with a seriously hyper run. I don't know, as far as I'm aware, nobody's done Warrior No Blue Room seriously yet, just because this guy is that inviable. Oh, hi there, Mr. Vale. It's been a while since you've done this game, or have I just missed those? No, it's been quite a while. And yeah, we're not doing the fan mod this time. So this is actually running the quality of life mod right now, with all balanced stuff disabled. So this basically means that it will tell you anything that the base game would be able to tell you. Normally you're expected to go look through your PDA, basically your friggin' Pokedex of different stuff that you run into in the dungeon. But yeah, no, in the quality of life mod, it just allows all of that information to be present on screen at the same time. It tells you the durability of your items. It's just like a bunch of little UI changes as well as little speed changes to make everything a lot easier. Not easier in terms of like the actual game balance. It literally has a button to not affect game balance, but just in terms of you don't have to go to the inventory to go check how your body armor is doing, or you don't have to go and sit through animations. Like, for example, with this guy, his main form of attack is this knife gun over here. Now, this guy's my favorite. Like I mentioned earlier, A, they're a complete moron, and B, the fact that they start off with a frickin' knife gun. And C, the fact that they're easily the worst character in the game. So, to stop going on about this over and over and actually get started with the run here, they get a pretty decent amount of HP to start off with, but their generation sucks. They've got natural built-in armor, so does the mercenary. They've got a bunch of decent weapons. Arguably, they've got some of the best weapons to start off with. However, their access to other stuff is completely limited. Like this Karazhan over here, this knife gun, is basically a double melee attack if at close range. It's functionally the equivalent of the adamantium claws for most of the other characters. However, they can make those infinitely, and they functionally have a melee option that's actually viable through the game. This guy has his one knife gun. If he loses that knife gun, well, he's not good at melee anymore now, is he? He has a flamethrower. Pretty much low ammo. It's okay. It's decent. He has decent armor, but it takes up all slots. Like, every part of him is like, hey, he has this thing, here's the downside. So yeah, he starts specializing in heavy weapons, assault rifles, and regular rifles. Which is all well and good, except, yeah, I think he eats at like twice the rate of everybody else, but he's got 10 out of 100 biotech. He's got pretty much no medical, no deciphering, no mechanical, no nothing. This dude has no support skills going on whatsoever. Alright, so, like I was saying earlier, this music improves as time goes on. And by the way, another feature of the quality of life mod, it automatically hotkeys all of your starting weapons. So that's always nice. Now, is the music audible? And to explain one of the systems right here as to why I knife-gunned that random guy. So every time that you're using a skill, if you use it successfully, it gives you a discount on your next level up. You only have to use it successfully once per level up. But this basically means that even though we're not going to be using the Krazen very much... Wait, Sorry, kind of like half yawning, half like almost a burp type situation. But yeah, so even though we're not going to be using some of these things very often, we are specifically going to want to train them up in order to make sure that we actually can once we get there. The higher your skill, the less durability loss you're looking at as time goes on. And okay, we're about to get a full heal here, so what I'm going to do, which speaking of, we need to take his Reach-a-Zock off. Basically, it's like a full body armor suit that he starts off with, which sounds like it'd be amazing. Actually, combined with his natural built-in armor, that gives him 80 armor class at the very start of the game. Sorry for repeatedly turning off the UI there. That is a fact of those two buttons being right next to the gather button. There we go. I know you can't hear it. Can you hear the music now? Because it should be a decent bit louder. Alright. So here's what we're going to do. He starts off with pretty decent might. Now, normally you want to have might hit at least 70. Lately, what I've been liking is going for finesse first. So you usually want to boost these in increments of 10, because every time you boost them in increments of 10, you end up seeing boosts all across the board. So, as that goes, we've used mechanical, so we can take a roll on that. We need to have telekinesis. This guy, as far as psionic powers go, this guy's got nothing going for him. However, telekinesis and foraging are two that I always like to pick up. Basically because he's going to be pretty worthless as far as crafting stuff goes, and, well, normally you don't want to boost skills below 45 until, well, geez, okay, layers and layers of mechanics. So if I were to swing this at something, there would be, I believe it's like a 5% chance that that he would automatically learn how to use it better. There we go. And unfortunately, it's already taken some damage. Yeah, this thing is fairly durable, but it's got some problems to it. Alright. So anyway, so like I was trying to explain there, so there's a chance that they would learn that skill. The reason that I want to go for telekinesis is because it allows him to safely interact with certain rooms. Seeing as he has pretty much no scouting abilities, he starts off with at least 5 in telekinesis, so at the very least it's a maximum of 10 levels to be able to at least use that. Psionic skills are kind of the exception, in which they allow you to level up regardless of where you are with him. So, for example, he can repeatedly use telekinesis until, hopefully, eventually, he manages to go learn something along the lines of telekinetic fist. It probably will still be terrible, because, again, his brain is completely broken, to be completely blunt. This guy's just relatable, you know? It's just everything about him's completely relatable. Let's see, nope, still can't hear it? Well, crap, hang on. Yeah, so lately, I don't know what's been up with the audio. Alright, how's that? Is that at least a little bit audible? Alright. So unfortunately, the rifle guy over there we're going to have a problem with, because he might just destroy stuff in the room. Thankfully, he just hit a mine. And I really should... Oh, for crap's sake, that is just mean. So this is one of the ones that can happen early on. The Adaptoid is, functionally speaking, just... It's a trap. This is why we want to pick up telekinesis. The Krazen is a pretty decent counter to him, but we're probably going to burn through all of our medical items here just to... You start off with a few medical patches with this guy. And right before level up, too. That's frustrating. Because, yeah, those 10 medical patches are pretty much your only, you know, these don't take a turn to die kind of situations. Alright. Now, if you're wondering why I said that we should hopefully not be reloading that gun, I want to keep it half-loaded. As weird as it sounds, so one of the skills... Oh, we got 2 level ups off that. Actually, no we didn't. No we didn't. What am I saying? So as weird as it sounds, we want to keep this half-loaded because the higher your foraging skill, the better chance you have to be able to actually get the ammo for any weapons that are somewhat depleted. And the game just automatically assumes if you don't have all of your stuff all the way up there, you know, if you're not capped out on ammo. This might damage our items, by the way. Yeah, there we go. It just assumes if you're not capped out that you probably are having ammo issues, so you're probably scrounging around for more ammo. So, conveniently, that lets us handle that. Now, another thing, I don't believe... Okay, apparently that was one of the quote-unquote balance changes. Okay, can you hear the music now? Good. Okay, let me try turning this up slightly. Let me know if that potentially makes the music a little bit more audible. Bear in mind the sound effects are intentionally quiet. Some of them are very loud, so I have them fairly low. Now we're going to turn around. We're going to close that door because I don't want that rat ambushing us from behind. We got poisoned. That's not terrible. Like, for what it's worth, this guy's strength is one of the highest in the game when it starts off. So I don't know of the exact math, but I believe it's something like every time that it does a check on poison or diseases, that it would, since its strength is 65, it would have something like a 65% chance to just fall off, or at least drop down a rank. Because the higher it goes, the more damage you get, the more debuffs you get, and then if it gets to rank 10, you just die, regardless of where your health is. And so, you know, I'm 99% saying you should turn the game system or the game music down, but I'm still super quiet. I can just barely hear the slash sound. Yeah, I can also just barely hear the slash sound. Alright, and we are about to use the rest of the medical items here. Okay. Yeah, seriously, difficulty is a little bit difficult, it turns out. Alright, let's turn there, close that. Stab this guy a few times. But yeah, personally, I really like the music in this one. Where's the slashes and things like that. Oh, and by the way, I have voices turned off. If you guys want to... If you want to hear this guy talk, let me know. Alright, rolled only 1 for lockpick. That's a little bit disappointing, but once we... Here, pick up foraging. Once we get telekinesis up... it's going to take at least 2 more levels. I was hoping that would roll a 2 or a 3. Then we'd have more of a chance. I think we'll just go Blade. Go Blade on that one for now. Huh. Can't hear the music, just the slash? That's what's weird? Hang on. What on earth is going on here? Do you want speech on, by the way? While I'm in this menu? Alright, we'll turn it on for a minute. Alright, how's that? But see, what I like about this character is that he... well, he can't exactly adhere to the meta, considering the meta can't use him. So the meta of this game, if you know somebody's going for like a real tryhard setup, is you really want to be going for psionics. You want to be going for just a whole lot of long-range sniping and things like that. And well, this guy can get into the sniping side of things. His odds of actually getting those things are fairly low. Now, I don't know exactly how the game handles drop rate chances and things like that, but what I do know is that I seem to almost never get standard guns with this guy, which is another one of the reasons I think they're awesome. Okay, that's a problem. So every time that we run into one of those, we basically just lose several turns and potentially die. Because this guy's resistance is non-existent. So, yeah, until we get psionic resistance up to 15, well, we're just always gonna be kind of either paralyzed in fear or just generally stuck dealing with these Arbuda sapiens, as they're called, as they're running around fear-bombing things. The cool thing is that you can actually do that damage to them, too. Let's see, music's still super quiet, but I can tell it's there if I turn Twitch's volume all the way up. What is going on with this, then? We do have a counter that we can build to that later. I don't have access to it yet. Out of curiosity, can you hear the guys talking? And by the way, even though it's like a 1 to 10% chance for robbing the stasis pantry, I'm always going to end up doing that. Well, that would have been useful to get. So, base paste that I was trying to do there prevents acid from hitting you. Which basically means every time that one of those notices comes up that's like, hey, your items were damaged, most things that do that are acid. So it basically prevents a few cases of that hitting you. Alright. Now, every time you play through... That was an intentional waste of a couple shots, by the way. Now, every time you play through, these particular ones randomize. So I'm assuming... Let's see. If it's not damaging us... it's not a recharger... I don't know what it would be that it's not hitting us. It might be a damage trap, actually. And maybe it just... we have too low of health. Oh, for God's sake. And dead. Knew I should have checked first. Alright. That's alright. This is what seriously runs are all about. Like, until you get something amazing early on, it generally tends to go that way. Alright. And again... What's funny is on paper, this guy should be one of the best for seriously, because he's the only one that basically doesn't have to have his armor on early on. Pretty much everybody else you absolutely have to, no questions asked. Let's see. First of all, let's go ahead and ban this guy, because it's apparently been 5 whole seconds, and we gotta get more spam bots. Second of all, let's go ahead and reload this. Alright. Hang on, it's reloading real quick. Because for some reason, every time I ban somebody, it makes the menu pretty much infinite. I'm sure there's some way to avoid that. I just... you know, I'm just an idiot when it comes to figuring that stuff out. So your voice is too loud versus the game sounds. I can't turn it up to hear that sound. Okay. Well, fine. I guess I'll just be quieter then. Alright, how's that? How does that sound? I'm starting to think a lot of these options in my menu don't actually do anything. Because there's absolutely zero reliable about the info on these pages here. Alright, same here. We're going for blades this time. Give me that telekinesis. Give me the foraging, which, yeah, foraging you almost always end up ranking up even on accident. Although, wow. In this particular case, we failed so many times. Yeah, I'm going to have to sacrifice a point somewhere else to get foraging up. We failed so many times in a row that we just don't even get the level. Nice. Let's see. Better game/you balance. Don't know if I've ever heard them talk, though. What are they saying? Mostly he says things like he doesn't know what he's doing and how much he loves his queen. He's a very British bug. Yeah, let's go ahead and turn that speech up. Alright, turn the global up here, turn the speech up here. We'll have the effects about there. Sorry if eardrums got blown out by the main menu music. It's pretty loud. Good now? Okay. There we go. And yeah, they probably did his lines talking into a Pringles can, if I were to assume. But whatever, it's charming. Like, considering the setting of this game and where it came from, like, just everything about it cracks me up. Because I want to know who exactly played Sword of the Stars and was like, you know what, this needs a... We should make a really competent roguelike out of this. We need our spaceship game to be a roguelike now. Which, yes, I know, FTL, but it wasn't like that. It was like, it's literally just a 4X game, an entire series of them for that matter. And yeah. They're like, we need a side story about a retirement colony overrun by super zombies. And bug people trying to save their people friends. Yeah, this guy was one of the DLC characters, but whatever. There were an absolute ton of expansions for this game. Like, I feel like Kerberos was one of those studios that I'm not sure if they just didn't understand. There we go. Good, we got a crowbar. As weird as that sounds, it's actually a pretty major find. Because it's an infinite boost to mechanical checks. It's one of the best things you can get early on. Alright. Go stabbing stuff all day. It's just kind of what he does. And it's about all he's good at. And unfortunately, while that is a huge part of the game, it's definitely not going to be the part that lets you survive at the game. It's a very weird one, because for all of the, like, oh, here's all these crazy weapons, here's all this stuff to shoot at, you're generally incentivized to not shoot at stuff unless you really have to. Like, early on, yeah, sure, these little bats and rats and crap are everywhere. Later on, when it's like giant open hallways, it's like, so, do you feel like fighting 8 war mechs for seeing if there's a plasma cannon hidden in that one locker way in the back of that engineering room or not? Generally speaking, the math changes a bit. So usually, the first, well, in this case, we're playing on fast mode, so the first 10 floors are roughly about setting up and making sure everything's all good and dandy. After a certain point, it turns into just how much can you potentially avoid. Now, yeah, we'll take Blade, I guess. I probably should go for Resistance. Ah, crap. Yeah, his Wisdom score is also trash, so there's kind of a low chance of him discovering traps, too. So that's just something we'll run into. Sometimes we'll just randomly get thrown 6 floors forward. It's just a thing that happens. Hi there, Philthink. How's it going? Is it? Now, out of curiosity, is that you, Sunnif, under a different name, or you just happen to say the same thing? I gotta know. Good, this is Sunnif? Yep, knew it. Alright, is there anything we missed on this floor? Not really. Yeah, we're like, what, 20 minutes into this run, we've already died? So, yeah, that's about right, I feel. Alright, so we'll just go ahead and slashify this rat boy here. This one. The keen eye for detail, one truth prevails. Oh, well, never mind, make that 2 deaths. Got friggin' robo-copped by psionic rats. God, what is that spawn even? Okay, let's do that again. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm not selecting start again, I don't know if Quality of Life fixed it, but there was a bug in the original that put you back on normal mode if you didn't hit start again. Which I guess I could do. I'm really not doing fast mode for anything other than stream convenience. So, there's that. Alright. Do we not even get a chance to find our ice gems up here? No? But we need our hunger supplement, man. Okay, fine. We get nothing. Our prize at the start of the game is 40 turns of nothing. Beautiful. Probably should remember to take the armor off, I suppose. I mean, realistically, in a lot of cases, I usually just end up keeping the Reach's Arcanum anyway, just because it lets you avoid regeneration time, and the stuff's pretty durable. not to mention it renders him almost immune to all of these little enemies. Plus psionic stuff. Like, really, when you have armor in this game, it's largely for stuff like... It's largely for either, like, stuff that shoots at... Well, it's always for stuff that shoots at you, to be blunt. Like, it helps with a lot of things, but, like, for example, the TK fist that I died to there, which, by the way, I think you could actually do that in the fan mod. But yeah, the like, automatic TK fist thing, it's pretty much entirely what I like to call hollow damage. So basically, it scales up a whole bunch if your armor's low, but if you've got armor, it'll do next to nothing. Like, it's one of those skills that you can get later. If you've got power high enough, it'll just break anything. But pretty much anything that has armor, and kind of up until your power's about 60 or so, you're generally going to plink off. Well, except for robots. I'm not sure why it is that it seems to affect robots very well. I don't know, maybe I'm just completely off on that, but a lot of, like, war mix and things like that will just do absolutely nothing. Fast mode makes the game much harder. Well, fine, I guess we'll just do start over if we die next time then. Like, the way I figure for this kind of run, it kind of makes sense. Because in most cases, you're trying to, you're trying to get as many items as possible, you're trying to get all those loots and all your level ups and all your passive training skill gains and stuff like that. But then with this guy, you start off with the best stuff you're realistically going to start off with, because it's not like I'm going to make Addy Claws. The Corazon is his equivalent of the Addy Claws. If this thing breaks, realistically, I'm probably not getting another one. As far as assault weapons go, it can definitely do worse than the Assault Flamer. As far as blades go, this thing is strictly average and whatever, but it's durable, at least. Like, if you need a Magnum, this thing is also a Magnum. Kind of annoying they have to do multiple things with one weapon, but it's there. It's just the problem is, yeah, his longevity is the issue. But any dang who weighs. Let's see. Let's do telekinesis. I feel like one of these times I'm going to end up doing, like, telekinesis resistance until they end up going all the way up. Because what I typically like to do is do TK first. Just kind of use that for a little bit of safety, and then use resistance later. Because, like, using resistance is about your only way of actually dealing with the fear guys. You just got to keep your psionic bubble up, but then this guy has no points to speak of. Sorry, I think that thing costs like 50 to cast, and he's got 90. And I'm fairly certain that goes up not even very much. Like, I think at the level 100 run, I think it'd be like capped out at 130 or something. But stab. By the way, Sunmip, do you happen to know, with Luke there, by any chance, did he ever do a Warrior seriously? Because I could have sworn that they said that they were going to, and then didn't. Or just, like, bailed on the idea and said it was impossible or something. I could be thinking of somebody else, but that sounds like a thing that happened.
They should have sent someone clever.
They should have sent someone clever, exactly. I mean, to be fair, he sent himself, but he was going to do it, but I can't remember if he did. Okay. Gotcha. And these situations right here are what we have these grenades for. The frags are generally the most disposable, so we'll just go for that. Don't feel like wasting any of the small grenades for that. I'm not sure how people generally tier their grenades and everything else, but the way I see it is like, this is for getting rid of 5 bears in one room, this is for when you actually need to grenade snipe, and then this is for just random junk that happened to spawn weird. Alright. Is he gonna... there he goes. Got him. Alright. Oh, for crap's sake. And here we go again. Alright, let me just pop one of these for safety. and then we're, okay, that bear's gonna cause problems. Pretty sure we didn't hit anything there. Alright, realistically, he's probably pretty low. Yeah, there we go. Shouldn't have reloaded there. F key, thank you. Alright, good. Yeah, I wasn't 100% certain, but I think it was their psionic points were probably recovering after healing themselves. That's probably why they didn't attack. Had it set up that we would hopefully take only one hit there, but looks like we took none, so that works out. Now, heavy weapons is pretty much good where it is. I would throw points at it, but I've never gotten a return on that. If we get, like, I don't know, an autocannon. I guess that's the other benefit of this guy. When it comes to heavy weapons, so a lot of things like I think it was like the heavy autocannon, the automatic rocket launcher, just the plasma cannon, just like literally anything that you would need power armor to use, he can just use. So that helps in that regard, but it's still kind of not ideal. Alright, maybe we'll go for resistance. Got a bad roll. That sucks. Alright, just blade, melee, pistol, or heavy. I think we'll take pistol. Now, if you're wondering why I'm putting such a big emphasis on pistol, and why it is that it seems like every every weird challenge run I try to do lately is obsessed with pistols. That guy's invisible and right there. I'm gonna step back because we're gonna get melted by this acid blob. A-hole stole my oat mix. But yeah, once we really get going with this thing, like if we get pistols maxed out, we get some penetration upgrades on that thing, we can actually do 40 damage around. You can actually run up and melee the final boss with it. It's actually what I did on the level 100 run. Holy crap, what is that even? Alright. Screw it, there's nothing in that room anyway. Sweet Jeebus, there's another one. I wanna... let's just do flamethrower. Traded 1 damage for 1 skill rank. It's not great, but... And real quick here, did we see a bed? No, dang it, I could have sworn we saw one, and we've got robots around here somewhere. It's time to reload this thing then. Now we've got poison. Might as well just eat some diseased meat then. So, interesting note, with diseased meat, it's actually okay on this guy, so 65 might, he's got a pretty okay chance at not getting sick from it. Plus, it gives you more food if you don't clean it. So, occasionally, when it comes to situations where there's a choice of raw versus cooked food, he'll do a little bit better doing it that way. Just gonna take a quick rest with him, just get this poison gone. Because I could use another med patch and just run around the corner, but I'm getting stat drops, so... Here, people say that games where all the wildlife are trying to kill you are unrealistic, and to those people I reply, you did not grow up in Florida or Australia. True. Very true right there. Like, to anyone wondering that, do you know the difference between a king snake and a coral snake? I don't remember what it is. By the way, this thing is fake, because I can't interact with it. So if it's still your turn and you try to interact with something, but there's no button to interact with, you can usually get away from it. Later on, with Ultra Mazoids. That's their later game version.
Before me.
I really need to stop reflexively reloading. But actually get more ammo for this thing. But yeah, with the other ones where they have more turns, then that will not work as well. That's why we want to have telekinesis.
Goodness, what a steal.
Uh-oh. For some reason I thought that was a 2-turn reload. Now we're going to go over here. We are going to shake off the disease. Yes, I've got some medicine to deal with that, but I'm saving that for more urgent cases. Okay, so what do we want to do here? So pistol for sure. Somehow we didn't get foraging that round, so I guess we'll just take another resistance then. As much as we need foraging. And I guess we'll take another blade. If you're wondering on the grenades, they can scatter. That's based off your melee skill. His is decent enough that they usually don't miss. And figured an alarm there wouldn't be the worst idea in the world, because if security comes, at least they'll be out of their room. Oh, sweet. We actually got a key. So there's, I believe, like 4 or 5 different types of keys you can get. Basically they're Doom keys. But yeah, if you keep them around, there's certain doors that have a very high lockpick chance. Alpha is the lowest tier bet. And by the way, since due to all kinds of shenanigans, if I can avoid using any kind of door traps, I will. Yes, some of them are beneficial, but they randomize every round. Yes, oh, but that one... dang it. Alright, fine. Fine. Okay, it's a madness trap. Basically, the deal here is, when you go to a particular door, each one of them that has a little diamond thing on it can have a trap on it. Some of them make you blind, some of them make you insane, some of them heal you completely, some of them, you know, mess with your mind or whatever else. In this case, it's making us temporarily crazy, so we're just seeing enemies all over the place. If this didn't have a ammo box, I probably wouldn't be in here.
not bad for a guy with 16.
And since we're fairly early in the game, I'm just going to punch down the door. But yeah, one of them will actually vaporize a random item in your inventory. So that's why I threw everything on the ground. Oh, for crap's sake, really? You disguised yourself as garbage? Rude. Not necessarily dumb, but very rude. Alright. Alright, I think we'll just pop on the armor instead of taking another rest here. Good morning, Frozen Fury. Oh, wait, hang on, I just missed a few. Let's see, red and yellow, kill a fellow, red and black, friend of Jack. Okay, thought that gets a false positive on a long-nosed banded snake, so don't get... so don't murder red and yellow snakes. Okay, good to know, good to know. We're... You know what? We're here to discuss snakes this morning. Right, now, interestingly enough, this guy will instantly kill us next round. That does feel like it applies to a lot of things, to be fair. We'll take 2 more med patches. Hopefully we get more of those. Now, due to shenanigans, I think we're actually going to start off with this move right here. Wait, can we? Okay, there's no... I feel like that would be the better move. So I'm going to try to get close and hit it real good. There we go, good. Now, what I was hoping for was to have that guy gone. That's basically what we need this for. Interestingly enough, his bread does not turn into toast if you hit him with a flamethrower. My immersion is basically ruined. I don't know what this one is. Awesome. Well, this place is about to be swarming with robots. We're going to leave now. And we're going to take a short nap. It's not ideal, especially considering you can see the brown bar at the bottom is this guy's food tank, and he is getting rather low, and we are on floor, 2. So there's that. But okay. Hopefully, if we wait long enough, I mean, we're going to run down there, and it's just going to be security bots everywhere, and yeah. We're either, once again, reenacting RoboCop, or maybe we're getting somewhere. So we basically traded about 30 food for a decent amount of health there. One nice thing about what he starts off with, there's kind of a gamble you can take. So the oat mix that he starts with, there's a very decent drop, especially for him, of getting grubs. If you combine grubs with the oat mix, you get what's known as an oat boy, or a bug boy, I think, which is one of the best food items for him, and he's actually the only one that gets a bonus off it. Realistically, and actually, do we need the Chuzanti brief or anything? Like, I really don't think he can make... Yeah, whatever, we're just gonna eat that. It's slight healing and a decent amount of food. Oh, okay. Maybe there are no robots on this floor. I think we'll keep the armor on until we know for sure there's a snake somewhere. Nice. Nice. This is what I mean by he gets a little bit of a downside from not being able to actually open doors. Alright, so yeah, sand snakes and things like that, they can give you I think like 6 to 8 rank poison, which if you get 2 bad rolls on that, that is instant death. Those are just the worst. In fact, might be a little inefficient, but get the hell out of here. Yeah, it didn't kill it. Alright, where's the robots? The deal with those ones, if you damage it but you don't kill it, they send those guys, and they basically just come out and they steal all your stuff right out from under you. Like this guy is trying to run off with my friggin' grenades. And they can send absolute swarms of them too. Like I think they can spawn up to 10. So like for every hit that you did, I think they spawn one. And yeah, it can get absolutely ridiculous because they usually spawn in right behind you. Because I believe by the game's logic, they're just coming out of the walls pretty much because they're supposed to be cleaning bots, like they're little Roombas more or less. So they will steal your stuff, and you might think, oh, but you can just track them down and find them. If they make it to one room over, your stuff is gone forever. That's not even an option. Let's see, oatmeal worm cookies sound disgusting. When the alternative is eating my own cooking, it's a close call, which is worse, depending on if I have raisins or not. You do have a food in this called the unspeakable hoagie. Like, I just love the food recipes in this game. At one point, I remember thinking, you know what, if at some point I manage to pull off this run, I'm gonna have to go do like a stream of actually trying to cook some of the stuff in here. Which, by the way, you can actually shoot stuff with your hunger. But yeah, no, like we got the bland witch, which is literally moldy bread, moldy cheese, and questionable raw meat. Let's see what else we got here. We got brain soup. That's literally 2 chunks of brain, some brain crystals, some primordial soup, and a mitochondrial gland. Here's the bug boy. So, yeah, ideally you want Biotech 84. He starts off with 10. It's his best food. It's so mean. And by the way, I've gotten responses from the devs asking why on earth they made him so bad. They're like, yeah, he starts off with some good items. We tried to balance it based off the items. And he's got some really good items, so everything else about him is absolutely terrible. He wasn't meant to be the worst, but it's funny, or something along those lines. Let's see what else we got in here. Chocolate orange. Nah, whatever. That's just like some fruit slapped on a turkey. There's some really weird ones in here though. Deli sandwich is fairly vanilla. Dried fruit is fairly normal. Eggnog is the greatest healing item. It's not literally the greatest healing item, but like for the availability of the materials and for how good it is, it's like 100 health plus plus I think like 80 food or something. For two relatively common materials. We can make energy drinks out of primordial soup, some amino acids, and a mitochondrial gland. Oh, the faux roast, that's just mushrooms turned into a ham. This thing is basically the kind of stuff that I would eat in recent years. Alright, let's see. I thought they can spawn max 4 from my experience. They are annoying, though. Yeah, like, especially the fact that those guys can knock you unconscious. So you can literally run into a situation where you run around a corner, you know, whip out your friggin' Magnum, you go shoot them once, they barely survive, they spawn a crap load of robots behind you, hit you with a stun dart, you fall asleep, they steal half your inventory, and then you just wake up, like, completely disarmed because they ate your gun. It's, yeah, it's something else. Those guys are just the worst. Hang on, what else was there? I remember there being... Was it this one? No, that's just basically pumpkin soup. Although they call it cooking instead of soup. What's that about? You got the Imperial Special. It's just like a lobster cake and a feather that somehow get combined with a crab to make a blue crab. No clue why. You can make a Twinkie. You can make Twinkies out of ancient herbs and different parts of a brain, apparently. Maybe back ribs. Those are just... Yeah. 2 ribs plus a scent gland you ripped out of a rat plus some ketchup. That sounds like something you want to eat. Where the crap was that thing? Oh yeah, pit stew. Here it is. So it's 2 things of diseased meat plus herbs plus onions plus bacon to make this weird, like, corn tentacle abomination. Although, it's basically one of the best things in the game, because it has a chance to give you a permanent stat boost. But anyway, alright, enough of that, because we could be here forever. Alright, crap, what's coming? Probably shouldn't be wasting Magnum rounds on rats, but right now, we got bigger concerns. Alright, safe cheese is good. I'm going for the desk to see if we can maybe get a free foraging check. No, oh, right. Is my... yeah, flamer is reloaded. Oh, come on, that's just mean. Well, we're not going in there. Please run. Oh, but we've got even scarier stuff here, don't we? Yeah, bye. Hopefully that thing de-aggroed, otherwise we're just gonna die. So, basic idea behind those things, they have a burst fire of a bunch of spears. They stab into you. You immediately take about, give or take like 80 damage, and then, if that wasn't fun enough, oh, nice. If that wasn't fun enough, you then take a constant damage to all of your equipment. On top of that, it gives you constant damage to your health. I believe it's like 10 per round. So they completely ruin your day very quickly. And we've got 2 patches here. Oh, really? Really now? Alright, well, we don't want to take chances because we're about to be dead. Oh, thank you for the follow there, Ufriton. Didn't realize how gigantic I made that notification. Now we're slow, so we can't quite nuke the entire room. However, we can do... potentially here is one of these. Nice. Oh wow, that somehow hit him too. I don't really know how. But I won't say no. Now, it sounds like some stuff is patrolling around. I can't say for sure. We got a medical room. In fact, let's zoom out a little bit. Alright, screw that. Now, you always want to melee these guys, because they can deflect your bullets. So he's just going to go off and do whatever then. Alright, we're going to take a short nap. I know we're about to level up, but it's just, I don't... If we run into anything with a gun, we're just dead. There's a crazy guy that's just eliminating everything in that room. That's awful. This thing just needs to get killed with fire. Alright, neat. Yeah, these situations are what the flamethrower is for. Because it's a pretty much hard counter to everything blobby. Finesse. In some cases, I've tried going for brains to make traps more visible, but it hasn't been too awful as far as traps go. There we go. Wait a minute, we need 20 for telekinesis, don't we? Crap. I haven't done these runs in a while, have I? And we have a rare chance to take lockpick, because we somehow managed to succeed in that. Telekinesis 25, right, that's why it's... Well, fine then. So I reloaded the pistol because I'm expecting to fight robots pretty soon here. There's gonna be nothing in there. Let's see. Oh no, that's just mean. Okay, yeah, we gotta go for this one. Please stop paralyzing me. Okay, every awful thing in the universe decided to spawn in at one time. Yeah, that was... that wasn't gonna happen. Like, best option would have basically just been to step away and grenade myself. There we go. Yeah, he's not just affected by those bats. One attack from them literally drains his entire sidebar. He is that dumb. And away we go. Alright, let's take the armor off for this part, because we're probably not getting jumped by any giant bats. They still might. But there's at least a non-zero chance that we won't. So I'm curious. How many of the folks here have tried this particular run? Wow. That was just bad luck. Oh well, we're almost leveled up. Not gonna waste a heal on this. And I know I missed a Sonic Land up there, but we're gonna get more of those. Like, Sonic Lands are one of those things that you just never will be at a loss for, or at a shortage of. think we should just go might this time. It's tempting, but I still like to do finesse first, then might. I'm gonna have the montage song from that wagon full of pancakes thing stuck in my head. Skill resistance this time. I'm not really locked into any particular build for this, it's just what I feel has been the most successful so far. Because for some reason I was feeling lucky today. Oh, hang on one quick moment here. And by the way, still looking to do the all monster fell seal run. That I'm probably doing on, or the next fell seal thing will probably be Wednesday, because there's a well, there's been a bit of a thing with the recording software that I'm hoping to test with this. So once I know what's going on with this, then I'll know if it's fixed. But anyway, be right back. Okie dokie, and I'm back. Is audio sounding all okay? Oh, whoops, hit the wrong button. Thankfully, in this case, it shouldn't be too much of an issue stepping the wrong way. Anywhere else it might have been. But yeah, so specifically what I was saying earlier, when it comes to Fell Seal and when it comes to the guide run, like the whole setup here has been chugging real bad. And so after digging around through a bunch of different stuff and changing settings and, you know, reinstalling parts and whatever else and doing tests on various hardware components, I think, like, I think we'll just do one of these here. No, my wormhole trap. Those are the ones that throw you down 6 floors. They're not necessarily a good thing. They're usually a bad thing for a lot of people, but personally, I think they're great. Anyway, what was I saying? So, I think ultimately it just wound up being my my antivirus being dumb. So I got rid of all of that, and hopefully that does something. Oh, nice. Nice. I know there was a chance, but yeah, it does not get much. Oh man, that's just so mean. Congratulations, you've been rendered blind. Also, there's a friggin' like security turret right in your face. Have fun with that. Alright, there we go. Man game. You can't even let me have the ice gems at least once. Rude. Yeah, so I noticed a while ago, just completely emptying out the Krazen definitely improved odds of getting Magnum rounds pretty consistently. Which, I mean, yeah, of course it does, but I'm fairly certain it works for a partially filled gun too. That's why I keep trying to leave it on half ammo. I've nothing really back that particular one up, but I suppose we can unload it. So I think the best one I've gotten was like 4 drops of Magnum ammo on the very first floor. Like by the time I actually started using it, I had some 300 saved up. I'm like, where the hell did all this come from? But yeah, your odds of actually getting that are entirely locked to your foraging score here, though. I think we'll just eat the bad trade here. Take 1 blade, 1 foraging, and 1 telekinesis. Arguably, redaction might be the better one. But what can you do? Like, if we look at it from a points perspective, so if we end up going down this route, we can get life sense at 15. We can realistically probably eventually get it up to fear. So it's a fairly cheap investment for potentially a really good ability, because this can just completely stun lock something. It's unlikely we'll get to the point of actually being able to become invisible or anything, but it's there. Plus, I'm pretty sure he can't even get enough psi points to actually be able to use Glamour. So there's that. Now, Telekinesis starts off at 25, so it's a bit more of an initial investment. TK Fist comes in at 40, so both those fairly realistic. I don't really see Deflect happening, and I don't really see Shrapnel Storm happening, but the options are there. If we do Warmind, Berserker is, I mean, it's just not really going to be too handy in a lot of cases. I mean, maybe in the case of one of those, like, Mucos hives or whatever, but it's kind of unreliable as far as I've seen it. Maybe other folks have had better luck, but as far as I've seen, it's fairly unreliable. Paralyze, I personally feel like Fear is better, because it makes the unit run away. So if you need a oh crap button, Fear is usually better, because this has a chance to crit and cause paralysis, in which case you can just go for that. If you go for Paralyze, it might just miss and do nothing. Redaction comes in kind of in the middle, around a heal at 20. It's very handy considering his crappy regeneration, which means that eventually Cure becomes reasonably available. Metabolic Control becomes reasonably available. It's not a bad one. Like, it's the one that I was going for quite a while when doing these, but it's just, it's very natural for this one to work, but unfortunately this one just mitigates so many potential issues. Going down the manifestation tree here, Mana is probably one of the most busted abilities in the game. However, for him, he can't even recharge it fast enough to be able to even make this viable. So no. Fire, I mean, he's already got a flamethrower. Dissolve, again, flamethrower. Duplication, really nice. He literally can never use this ability, I'm fairly certain. So, what was this one called again? Mecha Empathy. Mech Sense doesn't really help him that much because he's usually pretty good against robots. Shutdown is okay. I forget if that works on warbots or not. Sabotage would be handy. Like, as far as point costs go, those are pretty good. I don't really see Shutdown being viable. Sabotage might be. And then, lastly, as far as resistance goes, so Psi Shield is at 15. Fairly low cost. Basically just prevents him from running. It really helps with getting rid of, or preventing disabling status effects. Psi Armor, potentially possible. I mean, it's at 35, so realistically it would be possible by the end of the game. Invisibility, okay. And then Reflect, impossible to use. So yeah, those are his wizardly options. This dude is not made for that. His brain is broken. He just has a scrambled egg up there. Alright. And when your brain is an omelet, what can you do but stab stuff? The little kind of careful little cheddar walk they have kind of cracks me up, though. His little fingers going through the air like, oh man, I'm gonna go grab something. I don't know. You gotta be all careful. Might step on the lava. Which is a realistic possibility later. So I don't have a lot of the movement options turned all the way up for this game. The quality of life mod does give you options to speed certain animations up and things like that. I have some slight speed ups going on, but I found, especially when doing this one, if you turn all of the speed ups on, you're potentially running into issues where the game kind of registers 2 button presses instead of 1, which tends to be a little bit annoying. Like that moment that happened right there that you occasionally see where the game stutters when you're trying to do something, and, you know. Okay, and back from mute. Yeah, the moment right there, that's what I was talking about earlier. But potentially, if you end up hitting them and they hit you with paralysis, you can be very screwed very quickly. Alright, first of all, where's my foraging? Telekinesis, resistance, and what else? Guess we'll just go blade. You... douche stole my gun. Don't you dare steal my gun. So one item making this character almost viable. Oh wow. That actually happened. So first of all, 5% chance to actually open it. Second of all, we got a shotgun from that, so beautiful. We actually have something to deal with trash that isn't the flamethrower. That never happens. Wow. Okay. Landmine. Sure glad somebody put that there. It's not super amazing, but it's pretty dang good.
Must not waste ammunition.
Alrighty, where did that... So this room I want to take because there's the option of getting a bed. And beds are incredibly useful for this guy.
None shall stand before me.
Oh, get out of here. So far, so good. I mean, I feel like the shoddy is common. Just shells are generally common enough. You can tend to use it a lot more often. Especially if you get like a penetrating upgrade for this later. It is really good. Get a repair station. Mostly just using this for the skill checks. Might as well... do we roll it? Nah. So basically, if you fail to repair something, there's a decent chance of it getting damaged or destroyed. That's why I'm not going for the repair there.
Must not waste ammunition.
And yeah, turrets, generally speaking, you want to just ambush them. Like, ideally you'd ambush everything, but... not quite always possible. Alright, definitely not the best trade there, but we got some tainted meat. We should be okay eating that. Oh, we got infected. Nice. Oh no, come on. Stop throwing grenades at me, man.
Even your blood smells bad.
It's just rude. So apparently we got crazy people in every single corner of this world. Oh, dear God. That was loud. Thank you for the follow there, Jason. Alright. And there's not even anything in this room anymore. Because this annoying guy ended up going and vaporizing it all. Now we got a secure ammo chest in there. I can kind of beat the shots here, so... Thankfully, the tier 1s are pretty garbage. Alright, what do we got here? Definitely telekinesis again. Definitely resistance again. Definitely foraging again. Because just foraging makes up for a lack in so many other things. I feel like we probably want to take lockpick, because we need to be able to open more of these doors. I mean, we're still several levels off from that being even remotely viable, but... that Leperoid? So the Leperoid is kind of like a random mini-boss you can run into.
What a stink!
So if you have armor, it's usually not too much of an issue. If you don't have armor, it just goodbye to your life, pretty much. Let's take a turn. Yeah, that's fake. Of course it's fake. Why would it not be fake? This might trigger it.
I should have sent someone clever.
Maybe not. However, if nothing else, at least they give a lot of experience. So now what we can do with shotguns is fire around corners. Okay. Excellent. Alright, so we've got optimal meanness. I mean, it's seriously, so the weapon locker is probably fake. They usually are. Ah, crap. I meant to turn around, not, do what I did. Alright, that doesn't look like it'll hit them both. What about this? In what world can I... There we go. And that's the annoying thing about these guys. They automatically get a second turn. So if by any chance you had that thought in mind of, well, you know, you just gotta make sure to not use this stuff when it's about to break, yeah, no, stuff can just attack you and ruin all your stuff. Alright. Now we've got security cam- Wow, it's actually not fake. I mean, it's jammed, but... Okay. Does the flamer need to reload? Yes, it does. Okay, awesome. So skeletal humans are kind of weird. Their whole quirk is just if you don't kill them in one round, realistically they're probably going to come back and well, they can heal off of you is the thing. I don't know why the game thought I needed 2 auto docks, but okay. Shoot gun. So for now, the shotgun is just a direct answer to those. Later it won't be. Because everything's health goes up as time goes on. We got a turret. Random, but okay. 100% chance. Ooh, nice. Actually got an extra fuel cell out of that.
Stand aside, fireman.
Problem is, unlike many other weapons that will go and drop a whole bunch of different materials, when it comes to the flamethrower, it just drops one shot in most cases. Alright. Take the medical items here. Actually, I'm a little bit surprised how well that's doing. Losing stats to that poison. Not great, because it means we're less likely to hit with stuff. For some reason, these guys seem to have a far higher chance of biting at armor, by the way. And if you're wondering why I haven't taken that off yet, well... I'm hoping that we get another set. It's not awful by any means, but it's also like his armor rating with everything is 85 right now, so we'd be in far worse health issues without it. Right, if you could maybe not, that'd be great. I probably should have put the turret down actually. I think I might do that for next floor.
Die.
And then later on, it's not very useful. It basically just gets rid of trash for you. Oh, get out of here. Alright. It's fine. Wasn't expecting any robots because they never bothered to show up earlier. Hello? I'm not sure why it's not letting me click on the guy. Rude. 80% chance to open. Explodes. I should have recharged the multi-tool. Realistically speaking. I just need any random trash mob here. That'll do. Would be nice if they didn't murder me first, but... Okay. Wait for the poison to wear off. Get a little bit of that finesse going. Take some lockpick, take some resistance, take some telekinesis, and take some foraging. Not bad gains all across the board. Now, do I have any recharges for this? No. Can I... Okay, I can't unload the auto docks, unfortunately. So some electronic items give you the option to unload them, just to take the batteries out. Unfortunately, yeah, I can't do that without one. Which I guess, yeah, you gotta recharge your iPad in the wall, why not?
I have no idea what I am doing. None shall stand before me.
Okie dokie. And back. So we'll probably be wrapping up relatively soonish here. The kiddos are eating their breakfast right now. Had a little bit of a talk over the impossibility of having pretzels for breakfast. Alright, who wants to play Spot the Fake Weapon Locker? Okay, apparently none of the weapon lockers are fake this time around. What is going on? Yeah, both of these actually exist. What? I think the game's broken. Can we unload the purifier by chance? No, but we can make some stuff with it. See, maybe not pretzels, but popcorn and milk used to be a real and perhaps the very first breakfast cereal? Wait, seriously? Huh. That's wild. Alright, so we got some safe meat. Somehow got a pretty decent chance of opening this thing. Just rifle rounds. Okay, so I should point out, by the way, this says 1% chance of success. Basically, it's not exactly accurate. It's a 1% chance of doing everything right. The actual chance of getting something out of it is, well, it's a decent bit higher than that. Even if you're at 1%, there's still a pretty good chance that you're just going to trigger the alarm and get something out of it. Usually you can still punch the vending machines and get things. But anyway. Alright, anything else we can make here? We can make damper patches. If nothing else, it's probably just a good thing to have, and of course it's all going to fail. Fine. It's worth a shot, at the very least.
Even your breath smells bad.
That wasn't the worst, but see, this is why I like the crowbar. It's like the multi-tool, except you can pretty much always use it. Right, I hear patrols going on. There we go. Yeah, it's interesting that despite everything, this is a very... Like, there's parts of this game that are almost stealth. Like, in a lot of cases when you're running melee and things like that, you really are just trying to avoid making sounds. Because as you've probably noticed, firing certain things, or opening certain things, or triggering alarms, tends to put a lot of aggro your way. Oh god, what is this room? Alright, I'm thinking it's snipe grenade time. Nice. Just because I see a lot of good stuff in this room. Unfortunately, the door broke. Hopefully, though, if we're taking a nap, we won't really run into stuff. You can basically hide under the sheets. Oh, shoot. And we're hungry! Dang it.
Stop following me.
I don't wanna... Okay, Okay. Do some fungi bars. That sounds absolutely disgusting. Alright, what are our odds here? Yeah, that's gonna happen. Alright, back to nap time, I suppose. Actually, I think I know what we want to do here. Because we already know there's a bear, we know there's some other stuff. Come on, please work. Noise. We don't get experience for those, but we do get this wonderful thing called Not Dead. And I think it's gone. Hello there, Mr. Procow. Alright, guess we're getting that experience after all. That bear was way closer than I thought. Don't you just hate when bears show up and maul your electronics? Quick reload there. I mean, you do have the guy right next to you could be shooting at, but fine, fine. And this is what shotguns are great for. You got a whole bunch of stuff in the way and you can blow it all away. Oh, for crap's sake, man. Yeah, this is flamethrower time. Burning eight in the countryside, burning eight in the peasants, burning eight in all the peoples, and, well, whatever, it's worth a try. Good God, is that really worth a try? No, that's gonna just explode. Alright. Are you doing all monsters or all cowas for the Fell Seal run? Monster run is on pause till Sir gets back. Might try a different run on PC if I get bored enough. I don't know, which do you think would be more fun? Because like I said, on Wednesday I'm planning to continue the Fell Seal, or the regular Fell Seal run, and then if all goes well, oh, is that another leproid? What the hell? I thought you could only spawn one. Right. Well, we're getting owned by a bunny. If you're wondering, yes, it is a Monty Python reference. We got a diseased bear over there. Screw it. It's time to reload the Magnum and just start blasting stuff, I think. Oh, never mind. We're hit by fear. Because the Mind Wolf just got us with that one there. Chocolate eggs, thankfully, are a really good healing item. Who knew? As we run back through all the rooms we didn't clear. Which, by the way, fear, you have no control over your movement. They just automatically run towards the closest opening. Or the most recently used opening, I believe it is. Okay, food drop is pretty good. Like, I've seen runs go worse. We at least got a shotgun and a crowbar. So, I mean... So there's that. Now, that bear more than likely won't be... Okay, scratch that. Usually they're pretty territorial and refuse to leave their respective spots. If you close the door... Wasn't worth it. We can just leave some doors in his way, though. We don't have to fight him. Or at least we can hopefully avoid fighting him. I do want to go for that locker. Ooh, lockers. Surely one of these has to be fake, or at least this thing has to be fake, right? I mean, there's no way to... That's real. That's real. I really should just open it, but if they see you're doing a skill check, sometimes they'll just attack. Okay, got another alpha key. Can't open that one. Take a nap while security is on its way, I suppose. Alright, let's see. I think a monster run is more fun. It lets you try a bunch of different things, find out different builds for different monsters so that the community has value too. Or so that has community value too. Very true, very true. Then that sounds like a plan. Because, yeah, what I was hoping to do is have that potentially replace the One Vision Solo, which, right now, it's very close to the end of its first part. This is basically, I'm just off-screening all the boring stuff for that one, since a lot of folks have mentioned the fact that, like, the temples, since they haven't been updated, it is basically a curb stomp. So pretty much the entirety of collecting crafting books for that one has been fairly dull, has been the general opinion. So what I'm doing is, yeah, just off-screening most of it. Now, right here is what the high explosives are good for. So, let's just say goodbye to most of this room. Nice. Okay, I love everything that just happened there. Because, okay, that went there, the explosive hit everybody, there's poison gas in this part of the room. That guy got sent 6 floors down. And if you're wondering the difference, like, if you've seen the teleportation effect, if it's a big teleportation effect, that means it's going to be the actual teleport trap. If it's a 9-tile one, that means it's a wormhole. That dude gets sent to another dimension. Yeah, actually, there was another run that I was considering trying starting today, but due to all kinds of stuff going on with their site, I actually wasn't able to. For anyone that didn't know, New Vegas got the biggest mod that it's ever had. Like, the thing is apparently legit bigger than most of the games in the series. But the thing is, well, to actually get a hold of it now is a story on its own. Things like a 12 gig file. Surprisingly, still not as big as X Division, but anywho. So yeah, the thing's like a 12 gig file, and trying to get it off the Nexus right now, it maybe loads 2% and then it crashes. So that's a hard no on that one. So there's a Steam version that's coming out at some point, which is probably going to crash Steam at that point. Come on. Yeah, I think I'm going back to that whole opinion here where it actually doesn't make any sense to try and remove armor. Just keep hoping to get a new set. Because just the amount of expediency you get from not sitting and healing and just using your armor instead, it's pretty noticeable. Alright, telekinesis is getting there. Resistance is getting... 1 point off! Rude. Rude. Right, we can get a point into traps. See, now this might seem like a dumb idea. But personally, I'm of the opinion the traps is one of the most underrated skills in the game. Because while his starts at literally just 2, which is amazing, if you actually manage to get a wormhole trap, and by the way, I don't think there's any items that'll even boost traps, but if you get a few wormhole traps piled up, you can just skip to the end of the game. And as long as you've got a good weapon setup, you literally can just go to the end and that's it. The end is just one giant fight. In most cases, any levels that you've not mixed up with anything, but any levels you were lacking, you generally tend to get back pretty quickly. As it starts off with a bunch of trash enemies, gives you a few lootables, but not very much. So usually what I like to do for higher difficulty runs is just kind of get to about the 20s or so, pile up a whole bunch of wormhole traps, and then just basically keep putting them down one after another. Because if you fail to put one down, it automatically triggers in your hand, which is the intended effect anyway. So, that's always nice. Alright, just needed to make sure that was real. It's like these guys earlier. We were able to take them out with one burst, or at least a couple bursts. Now they're already higher. So we had a community competition to see who could hit floor 25 the fastest. One guy managed to do it in 13 minutes through wormholes. Yeah, they're really good. Like, they're very RNG dependent, sure, but they're still very good. Also, if you have nothing else to potentially do with a recharging station, what I like to do is just re-trigger it over and over, so you get the experience drops, because realistically, you're probably not coming back to it. Aww. Botched hack try again. And the second time it shredded the armor. Rude. Okay. Typically wormhole past the last 6 floors? Yeah. It's a really good way to do it. Like with this guy, with the level 100 run, I think I skipped, I want to say like 22 to 40. I mean, it was just a giant, I think I had, okay, I will say in terms of their rarity and in terms of how likely you are to actually pick them up, they definitely balance that one out because, okay, please don't interfere again. Because yeah, as far as that one goes, after those that 6-month whatever grind, well, I had 5, something like that. Although conveniently, got a shedding carapace on the first floor, so go figure that RNG. But like I will point out, none of that setup was done right. And like I went back and looked at it the other day, I was like, I'm surprised this run even worked because that was a dumpster fire. Like, I didn't even clear the actual floor that I was doing stuff, because I was worried. At the point, I think I had 3 craisins in the boxes. Like, I don't want to redo those 3 Hiver runs. And then it occurred to me later, like, wait, the ideal setup for a blue room, you're supposed to make sure you have all your crafting stations available. Yeah, it didn't have that, so most of the craftables just got left behind. You're supposed to make sure you have all of your cooking stations and things. I mean, you can get the portable cooking station, so that's fine. So it didn't have a lab, didn't have all that stuff. Almost died immediately on the first floor down. Let's see what else. I think I had to leave like 7 laser rifles behind because I had gotten a pocket tesseract a few times. Got really lucky with that. Every one of those times ended up dying and not making it to the blue room box. I think I had a utility belt that I tried to craft into something. I forget what happened. I just know that my my inventory was way lower than it should have been. On top of that, yeah, most of the wormhole traps just weren't a thing. This is the first blue room you can start from, by the way, for anyone that didn't know. Alright, where's my shotgun at? Yeah, only 4 shells left. I think we're going to use the Magnum. Alright, that's doable. That's a fake. Burning ain't the fake. Anyway, we should be good to finish more here. Good. Would be nice if you drop parts for some claws. That one is also a fake. Nice. And one thing I remember somebody brought up months ago is why don't you use cover or whatever else when running into those? Also, I'm not sure if the game's lagging or if... Wow, it really wants me to use turrets this time. Geez, I completely lost my train of thought here. Oh yeah, so why don't you use cover and things to get away from those? They have, I think, a movement range of 3 or 4 or something like that, and if they get close, they will shred anything nearby you. But yeah, Sunnif, did you ever see the 100 run by chance? Let's see if we can... Wow, this place is very trapped. Alright. Well, I mean, I gotta wrap it up in a few minutes anyway. Let's see what happens. Okay, so that was not the vaporization trap. Because I almost feel like going and just streaming the video of that at some point. I feel like some of these older really garbage runs, I should probably just go back and have the video on and redo, like, commentary live on those. Like, probably stuff like the no skill run for Tactics Ogre, or for level 100 run for Sots the Pit. Because admittedly, yeah, no, the audio quality and everything else on those was trash. I mean, they were done live, but still. Just garbage audio quality. I mean, safe meat, maybe. Yeah. There's not really too much we're going to be able to do with it. Actually, a fungi bar wouldn't be a terrible idea, too. Frees up a inventory slot. Yay. What? Don't worry. Don't worry. I don't think we're going to be affected by that psionic trap. Ooh, and we get to the point where music gets better. And hold on, one more moment. Okie dokie, and back. So, I will say my meeting here starts in about 15 minutes, so I think we're going to try to clear this room, close the doors, and probably wrap it up for today. Let's see, what kind of stuff can we accomplish here? Slashify this guy, slashify this guy. I'd say that was a pretty solid clear. And of course there's a mind wolf. Why wouldn't there be a mind wolf?
Monster in my head!
No, there was food in there! Stop spawning crazed Tarkin. And by the way, you have two options when it comes to fear. Oh, you dick. Like, you can't even turn? So, your two options are either, skip turn or run. Fear is so annoying. See, Mind Wolf, is that like the Sproutlings's comments about cows from Legend of Mana? True. I mean, they got... Unfortunately, there's no barrels in your soul that you can potentially get as companions in this one. Alright, I think we're going to go up. We're going to go back to the napping spot, which is right over here. And apparently there's a bear there. That's always fun. How much health these things have? A lot. That should be... Yeah, that was just barely within range. Alright, now we go take a nap. Which, by the way, speaking of Legend of Mana, so you know how we were doing the OB64 guide run? So, recently, I was informed by another guy that has an interesting channel that, that's implying mine's interesting. No, I was saying, Regdren is the guy that did a few different interesting kind of, like, niche titles, like Ring of Red, and did some of the Shining Force and whatnot. So, he informed me that apparently the Legend of Mana also has a really badly written guide, so, you know, we can do that one down the line as well. Should be fun. Alright, do we make safe cheese? Let's see, food value 30, food value 40. I mean, yeah. Do. At least make one of them so that it's all good and tasty and good to eat. Alright. So anyways, that's where we gotta leave it for today. I gotta get going. So you guys have a good one. Take care. And, yeah, see you, if all goes well, see you in a bit for one of the last parts of Tactics Ogre Solo. So, see you then. Take care. Bye.